Hi guys, I'm this movie guy, and today I'm reviewing Star Wars Rebels Season 3, Episode 17, Through Imperial Eyes. This really was an episode about Kallus. Kallus is clearly embracing his role as Fulcrum, really trying to help the rebels, and in this episode, it's being put to the test. Thrawn is there as well, Yularen is there as well, and they are really trying to uncover like who's Fulcrum, because they know that there is some traitor in their midst called Fulcrum, but they don't really know who that is, so they try to uncover it, and at the very end they do, which is very interesting. Now, this was once again a really good episode. I thought it was great what they did. In terms of seeing how Kallus has had his arc throughout this show, from the very beginning, where he is basically set up as the bad guy, up until like last season, where he had the episode with Zeb called what was it again? The Honorable Ones, I believe, on the moon of Geonosis, and now throughout this season, really seeing that he is becoming Fulcrum and really helping the rebels. It's really great to see his arc in this show, really showing how great of a character he actually is. He really has grown on me, because at the beginning I was like, he's a cool Imperial, but now he's become an actual really great character. That is a really good thing, I think. Also, it was great to see Yularen back. I think also the same voice actor as the one who did it in Clone Wars. I mean, Yularen we saw in Clone Wars. We know Yularen is in Star Wars because he is in the meeting on the Death Star when the Tarkin and Vader, Yularen, Mati, Tag, they're all there, and Yularen is there in their midst, one of the Imperial officers at that point. And to see him in this episode, it was great to see him. It made sense. It actually added to his character that to see that he is really also a smart Imperial that actually does something involved with Thrawn. I thought it was great. I thought it was great seeing the dynamic between him and Thrawn, really trying to uncover who is Fulcrum, and eventually finding that out. Finally finding out who Kallus is, that Kallus is Fulcrum. And really, my only complaint throughout the entire episode was that a lot of things were really, really like conventional. That it was like, oh, and now this has to happen, so that that happens, so that that happens, and then in the end, they'll end up just being fine. So that was really like, not a fan of it. Also detracts a little bit of Thrawn's character, because really they were outsmarting Thrawn. I mean, you don't outsmart Thrawn. You just don't do that. However, there's a big however, that all of that is solved at the end. When Thrawn just says, no. This could not have been Liz. Liz is not that capable, or he was not able to do this. He was not able to do this, and simply because of that, the only other possibility, because of the fact that he has Sabine Wren's artwork there, and he knows who Ezra Bridger is, he's like, it has to be Kallus. And the way that is written, because that has to be written by the people who write these episodes, is brilliant, because that is exactly who Thrawn is. That is exactly how Thrawn would go about finding out who Kallus is, and that was just amazing. I loved it. I was so blown away by the fact that these episodes, even though I don't like certain things of it, they solve each other eventually. Maybe that's also the thing with other episodes. Maybe it won't solve itself in the same exact episode. Maybe you see something in one episode and you're like, how does this tie into the rest of the story? Then later you get an episode that you have to pay off. I mean, there were also some references in this episode to past episodes. I cannot remember them, and I don't have notes, so I didn't write them down, because still my computer is not working. But there were some references, and it enhances other episodes. And that's great. That is how this show has worked so far, and I think that's amazing that the show just basically enhances itself as it goes along. And that is also one of the reasons that why I say that it's better to binge watch the entire show when the season is done, because then it's a lot better to connect the dots. And if you watch the show multiple times, you manage to connect even more. So that's a great thing, and I love that about the show. That's why I keep rewatching this. I've seen the entirety of Rebels, at least seasons 1 and 2, I've seen like 5 times already, and I'm trying to also get to like rewatching season 3 and see how everything plays out, because I think it's great how it's written, and people should really stop complaining. I mean, yes, once in a while you're gonna have filler episodes. You do realize this is a show on Disney XD. You do realize that kids also have to see it. By the way, that is one of my complaints about this episode. AP5 and Chopper have to be in it. I mean, Chopper can be in it. I don't like AP5. Never really have since his introduction in The Forgotten Droid. I wish he had been forgotten, you could say. Yeah, bad pun, I know, but I really wish that AP5 just was not in this show, but he is. Okay, he's in this episode. Okay, whatever, I don't care. At least he's not in this episode that much, and they really focus on Fulcrum and Ezra. That was really cool. Also, the building of tension was really great. Every time that Thrawn shows up, you know that you are just watching and like, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? And when then something happens, it's like, oh yeah, it's amazing. It's just the way they've written Thrawn in this show. It's like, yes, it's so good. It's so good. It's exactly who Thrawn is, and I so love that about this show, because I never really got into the character of Thrawn until a year ago, less than a year ago. And then I got into him, and then I read Heir to the Empire very recently. By the way, reviews up on my channel, check it out. If you haven't read Heir to the Empire, or if you have read it and you want to see my thoughts on it, because, oh, Thrawn is so good. It's such an amazing character, and the way they've written him in this show, it's great. I love it. So, a lot of great things in this episode, and I really don't have a whole lot of complaints besides AP5. So, great episode once again, and I really hope they can keep it up, but 2 episodes from now doesn't seem too bright. But let's see what's coming up, because next week we've got Secret Cargo, and it describes, the description was that a certain rebel has to be extracted by the Ghost Crew. And my guess is that it's Mon Mothma, because we saw her in the trailer. We'll see next week if it is, but my best guess is that it's Mon Mothma. I hope that episode will also tie in a little bit more into the larger rebellion and how Mon Mothma is in the picture of the larger rebellion, because we've heard like we've seen the rebel base, and you have Hera there and the Ghost Crew and some of them, but it's like we've had mentions of other rebels, like what's his name again? Oh, I'm blanking on the name. The Dodonna, that's him. We've heard him being mentioned. Now Mon Mothma is probably going to step in. We also saw in the trailer more of the Rebel fleet coming in. Maybe that's the next episode already. It would be amazing if it is. And it would be really interesting to just see how this Rebel base that we are at now ties into the larger rebellion with Mon Mothma, with the rest of the rebels. That would be awesome. I hope that some of that is in the next episode. I'm not expecting it really to be in the next episode, but it would just be really awesome to have a little bit more of a tie-in to, Rogue One and A New Hope. Like, we know it's going there. We are still 2 years away from those events, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays out this season. But I cannot wait for the next couple of episodes. The only episode that I'm really a little worried about is Double Agent Droid, because it's a Chopper and AP5 heavy episode. Really seems like filler slash kiddie episode that's really made for the kids. And well, we had that one the last season as well with the Forgotten Droid, as I said, which also was at this point in the season. Like you have the season finale, and then you have one episode before the season finale, which is supposed to be really good, and then the episode before that was the Forgotten Droid, and this time it's the Double Agent Droid. It's really, they need to put in these episodes that are a little bit more for kids. So I get that. I'm not really much looking. I just hope there's something in the episode that I can cling on to, that it's like, okay, that is at least something that I do like, that ties into the overall plot. Because, yeah, otherwise, filler, hey, whatever. Anyway, that's all I can say about Through Imperial Eyes. Really great episode. I wonder, what do you think of it? Did you love it as much as I did? Or maybe you had some more issues than I had with it? Please, whatever you think, let me know in the comments below. I still don't have my computer, which is very obvious, I'd say, but that means that, yeah, it's been a week. I really need to get my computer back, so somewhere next week I haven't had a call from the repairman, so I'll just go over to their shop and ask what's going on, if my computer is repaired yet. With a little bit of luck, it's repaired, so next week my video quality is back on my usual camera, back as usual, and I have an outro because I don't have an outro. So I'll just see you guys later. Take care.